Guys, we have amazing news today. Sam Bankman-Fried, even though he's under house arrest, he got skills, bro. He might have just orchestrated another rug pull. Even though he has limited internet access from his home, he pulled millions of dollars away from Bald. There was a reaction of the Bald's drop, and the guy was like, "Oh no!" Of course, I think he had money in Bald, and he just got pwned. The developer of Bald denies any kind of rug pull, but it dropped very, very fast post ICO. And the speculation comes from the addresses. It looks like the same kind of address as an early Sushi Swap address, and that has been accredited to Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, I don't really know if I believe this, but let me remind you, SBF is running out of money for his legal fund, so something like this would actually, something like this would actually help his legal fund. And his lawyers have actually been pushing for his friends to not get the pat down before they actually meet him. So he could be giving instructions to his friends to orchestrate this rug pull, even if he couldn't do it himself. A lot of people on social media, after tracking the addresses, they're like, we're 99% sure that this address either belongs to SBF or someone at Alameda or FTX. And even if it only belongs to someone at Alameda or FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried is like 90% behind that. So he could be trying to gain money for his defense fund, and he could have actually orchestrated this giant rug pull that we actually had today. Now, Bald being a meme coin was always going to get rug pulled sooner or later, so it's not really that surprising. But Sam Bankman-Fried orchestrating another rug pull from his house arrest, which means he might have actually been using his parents' computer and not telling people. That should actually be enough of something to where he violated his bail terms again to get his ass thrown in jail. Like, they've kind of like not thrown his ass in jail yet. But the thing is, they've asked for more and more stricter restrictions on SBF, even under house arrest. Eventually, I think they're going to get tired of it and just throw his ass in jail. A lot of the prosecutors already want his ass thrown in jail, basically. There's no reason you wouldn't throw him in jail at this point. Because, first of all, like, that whole bail situation to SBF is just like crazy. There was a $250 million bail, and all his parents had to do was put up their house for collateral, which is only $4 million. And then he violated his bail by using a VPN to watch the Super Bowl. That should have gotten his ass thrown in jail right there. But they actually excused that as well. And he's violated his bail again by trying to intimidate witnesses. So the feds really, really want him in jail at this point. They're still treating him with kitty gloves. And despite what people think, he didn't actually get all the charges dropped against him. He only got the campaign finance charge dropped against him. And that's because the Bahamas demanded it. That was one of their conditions to extradite him. So he's being charged with 7 criminal accounts, mostly of fraud. And he's also being charged... aside from the fraud, he's also being charged with civil suits next March. So not only is he risk going to jail, and I think he will for like 10 years or so, he also has a lot of money he's going to lose. So he might be raising money out of that. Based on the addresses and the evidence that we actually have right now, I think it is very, very likely that this does have to do with Sam Bankman-Fried. And if he's like creating fraud or doing fraud from his parents' home, he definitely needs to be thrown in jail and get another allegation against him right now. So right now, like, this is really looking to be like a big foobar by SBF. And if it is, he definitely needs to be thrown in jail. And I hope he is actually thrown in jail for this. I do think the Dutch Justice Department and the FBI should actually research this, because the links from the Sushi Swap's early wallet that belonged to Sam Bankman-Fried is pretty like damning evidence. And based on all the bail conditions he already violated, this should be enough to just put him away under bars for right now until the time of his trial. And maybe that will actually get his lawyers to speed up at the start of his trial, because we know that SBF can't handle jail, even if it's kiddie jail. Because remember, like in the Bahamas, when he was given a private cell away from other inmates and he was given vegetarian food and a working toilet, which other inmates didn't actually have in that jail, he still basically wanted out of the Bahamas as soon as possible. So he is not mentally ready for this. So either way, that SBF story, pretty darn incredible, and it's very, very sad for the bald investors. You shouldn't be investing in these crappy-ass meme coins anyways, but if he's involved in this meme coin, he definitely has to violate bail that way, and they should just definitely be in jail at this point. And of course, there was another blow to Ethereum's DeFi network and Ethereum's finance network because Coinbase's base token actually suffered an exploit. Now, they caught this one. This one wasn't Viper because Base is actually written on Solidity. And they actually had kind of like a shutdown mechanism or something like that. And they only lost $630,000. But on the heels of Curve Finance, which lost $1.5 billion because of Viper, another loss does not make Ethereum DeFi look very, very good. It seems like these smart contract languages do have a problem. And if it's not the smart contract languages, then the DeFi protocols themselves have a problem. And Coinbase is very, very well known. So if so it was their major swap that actually had an exploit. So if that's having an exploit, that's not going to bode well for the entire industry. So yeah, not very, very good for Coinbase right now. Not very, very good for the whole Ethereum ecosystem right now. And, Coinbase, I think they're going to have a hard time actually explaining this away. And if there's something wrong with Solidity, which there has been exploits seen with Solidity in the past, like Viper basically just had big, big problems in the last couple of versions. So that doesn't bode well that the main languages that people are actually writing, using to write Ethereum smart contracts, literally have problems with them right now. And I think there's going to be less trust going into Ethereum smart contracts if that is the case. The IRS made an unfavorable ruling for crypto staking today. They ruled, as was expected, they ruled that the taxes for staking have to be paid whenever you have dominion over the staking rewards, which means basically whenever you get the staking rewards, you have to pay for them then. I don't know how many people are actually going to file this ruling because some of the staking rewards are very, very hard to track. And, there are mechanisms now where people don't claim the staking rewards until they want to claim them. And people could just claim them in a year or two. I do think eventually regulations are going to come through and there's going to be some delayed taxes for staking rewards because it just makes more sense to actually tax the staking stuff when you actually sell it. But for right now, it's another blow to crypto because it makes taxes very, very complicated. I don't know what they say about DeFi. I actually haven't claimed any of my DeFi rewards, so I guess I technically don't have dominion over them. But I'm not really sure how they're actually going to define it because people could actually owe more taxes than what the value of their crypto is easily in a bull market. Maybe it's another way for them to discourage you from investing in crypto, maybe discourage you from investing in DeFi because banks have to see DeFi as a threat to their business. I know some of the banks actually want to get into DeFi, but overall, I think most banks still see DeFi as a threat to their business, and they basically want probably to cut crypto lending out, they want to cut staking out, and they want to cut DeFi out. So they might actually be targeting those three services in particular, at least in the United States, and hopefully they can just they probably want to hope that the banks can actually remain powerful in their positions because that's probably their entire purpose in the first place right now. But all these exploits with Coinbase and stuff is not helping. The IRS is demand that crypto staking be paid whenever you get them is not working. It's much easier just to calculate everything at the end of the year, obviously. And I think this is going to come back and hurt the IRS because if you make things too complicated, if you make things way too hard to track, people get staking rewards every 5 minutes and they're not going to update their taxes every 5 minutes. So I think the IRS actually making this stuff harder is actually going to result in less money for them because it's going to prompt many people just to not report. If it's easy to report, I think a lot of people report. If you make it really, really difficult to report, you're going to have problems actually getting people to actually report. And I think that's really, really going to hurt the IRS more than help the IRS right now. So it's probably going to cost the country a lot more money than actually gain them. So I think the IRS policy is really bad right now, both for the industry as a whole. And that might actually be what we're dumping on today. But that was a minor footnote in the crypto news. So I don't really think that's really going to be much of a thing. But that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.